Hello, folks. Welcome to my YouTube channel. For instance, we've been talking about the healthy person. Well, when you think about me being sick right now, folks, I was pretty much like this when I was married to the kids' daddy, and he was a narcissist himself. I believe he was a malignant narcissist, folks, himself. But anyway, I had gotten sick one night, and I think we were separated at that time. We were getting ready to get a divorce, but we were just separated, and I was living in a little trailer out there next to the family. And I'll never forget, I was sick that night, and I was laying on a pallet on the floor. And just to let you know how the narcissist can be, folks, he come in there and he had some friends with him, and he decided that he was going to make me get up, and it was pretty late that night too, folks. It was dark outside. It was probably about 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and he demanded that I get up and cook. And I told him I was sick and everything. And so I used my oven anyway, in that little trailer too, folks, to heat the house, because that trailer didn't have no wood stove in it or anything like that. And that's how a lot of us would, heat our places with a wood stove. But anyway, when he asked me, the oven door was open, and I went on and I got up because I knew that he was going to pick a fight with me over cooking. So I got up to the stove and I started preparing to get ready to cook. And he was still trying to pick a fight with me and stuff, folks. And something was said by me that wasn't that bad. But he got aggravated with whatever it was, and he backhanded me, and I went over the stove and rolled on the floor, and it scared his friends because they didn't know what he was doing, and they asked him what was he doing, and he told them friends to mind their own business, but that uh, that was his place, and he would do what he wanted to, and he didn't want nobody getting into his business. But he left a couple of bruises on me, and I think I skinned up my knees and stuff like that, folks. But that's what he would do. That's how he would react, folks. And that's what I'm talking about. That's not a healthy relationship, folks. Whenever you gotta not know what kind of mood somebody's in when they come in from one time to the next, whether it be out somewhere, and I'm sure that he was probably out drinking and doing drugs and stuff like that with his friends or whatever, folks. And he was under the influence of that, but that wasn't no excuse, folks, because a healthy person is not going to go out and get drunk like that and come in and knowing that somebody doesn't feel good and force them to do something that they don't really feel like doing. And if they don't do it, then they're going to smack them around or whatever. That's not healthy, folks. And that wasn't the first time that happened, folks. He expected me to cook every single day, no matter if I was feeling like cooking or whatever, which I didn't mind it, folks, because I do like to cook and everything, and also the kids were little and I knew they had to eat too, so, but that wasn't the point, folks. The point is, a narcissist will expect you to do everything perfect, They're unlike the healthy person, folks. And they've always got to be nitpicky on every little single thing all the time. I watched a video today too about this woman that was married to a narcissist, and she was sitting at her table, not saying hardly anything, because she knew that narcissist was already um, aggravated and everything, and he kept going on and on about how sorry she was that she didn't keep the house clean, and she lied to him all the time, and the reason that he was going on like this, folks, was because she had told him that she worked for a real estate company, and she was going to go out, after they ate breakfast and stuff, and um, show a house to someone. And this narcissist was saying that she was lying and going to go out and cheat with somebody. Well, he knew that she had the job and everything, folks, but he was still going on about it. And I watched that video for a while, and I finally had to wind up getting off of there because he was just going on and on and on. He told this woman that she was worthless, that, from the day he met her, that she didn't keep the house clean, and they had just moved into that place and had everything in boxes. He said that he went out and made money from his job and stuff like that, and she didn't even take time to unpack the boxes or anything like that, folks. But if he was a healthy person, he was all that worried about it, folks, wouldn't he go help her with it? But he said that she didn't care anything about his stuff. All she cared about was her stuff, and she didn't want to help him out or anything. And by the time he got done, he done cut that girl down below, down to a real little level, folks, and probably had her feeling like this. I think he had her crying at the table. She had her back turned, so I couldn't really see what was going on with her. But, yeah, that's how they go on, folks. They're really full of drama, and they always want to nitpick on every little bitty single thing to make you feel bad about yourself. And they don't focus on anything healthy, folks. They don't care if the relationship's going downhill or whatever, but they do get dangerous if they think the form of supply is on their way out the door, especially if they're not done with you, because some of them discard you, folks. But narcissists stay on an even keel at all times, folks. They could be sitting there being quiet for a long time, and nothing's going on in the household, and everything's going good, and all of a sudden they'll find something to pick a fight about. Whether it be housework or how you cooked, or just like that lady that I was telling you about on that video today. She cooked him something to eat and everything, folks, and he was cutting her down, saying that she fixed him an old hamburger. Well, folks, at least she made the effort to cook him something, right? Whether it was a hamburger or whatever, didn't sound like that she was doing such a bad job to me. But that's what I'm talking about, folks. In these narcissistic relationships, that's how they go on and on. And just like myself, folks, I was beat over a set of pots and pans. Over a cheap set of pots and pans. Can you imagine that? But anyway, folks, I want to get back on here and make another video before 12 o'clock and send it in to you folks. I got a late start today because I took care of the dogs and everything. I got 2 dogs to take care of now, not just one. And then when I got done, I was tired and decided I was going to lay down and take me a nap, and that was kind of late, you know. So I slept in a little bit too long, but oh well, folks. I feel a little bit better and have a little bit more energy. Hi, folks. I hope these videos are helpful, folks. And I hope that if you do decide to get in a relationship, you take your time with it and don't rush it, folks. And watch out for the red flags. And take care of yourself, folks. Love yourself. Love yourself more than anybody does, folks. I was gonna say the narcissist, but we all know he's not capable of loving. But anyway, thank you for joining my YouTube channel, folks. You have a nice night and a blessed night too. You got this, folks. You're awesome. Bye.